Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Bench mob, they're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen from now. Bowser really.
Next my podcast. What's up, bro?
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT. We have tonight special guest Joe Anderson, Coach Joe, podcast creator Joe. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I like the introduction.
Of course, we gotta give out the shout out. We know you play football too. Penn State was in the background, Giants was in the background. We're gonna definitely touch on that, of course. Of course, we're gonna have to touch on your Giants, of course. Coach Joe. So you one of my OGs. You graduated before me. You a coach now. What inspired you to become a coach and coach football?
So honestly, growing up, and because he was only like a year under me, so right? He was a year under, right?
11. I graduated 11.
Yeah, so the year after me.
Yeah.
Honestly, so a lot of the talent that was like in my class, even above me and stuff like that. Like I saw a lot of these kids wasting a lot of their athletic ability and their potential, and just honestly going down kind of the wrong routes in life. Like kids that had, whether it be D1, D2 potential, whatever, college potential, anything, like you see them go down the wrong path in life, and you're just like, something you could do so the next generation of kids doesn't go down that same path. And obviously you're not going to save every kid. There's going to be kids that, slide through the cracks that unfortunately, things happen in life. And, but I just thought I just thought of it as a way of being a teacher, because I work in the education system too for the town, but that's not really where my passion lies. My passion lies on the football field. And once I was done playing, I tried to play in college and the doctor shut me down because I'm medical history. So I thought the next best thing was go back and coach, and that was my way of being a teacher and just being a mentor to some of these young kids. And just telling them, listen, y'all want to have all these dreams and aspirations of playing next level, but y'all got to understand that, I've been through that, where I've seen kids have the same aspirations and goals as you and end up, whether they just have multiple kids working a regular job, some are dead, some are in jail, some are selling drugs, some are hooked on drugs, and they didn't have somebody there to kind of, teach them the way, to show them the path, and they just kind of fell by the wayside. So that was really a major light that kind of popped on for me. If I can't play, the next thing is to go back and teach these guys. So I'm not only teaching, I'm also just trying to be a mentor and guide them down the correct path. I always tell them just because football's over doesn't mean you don't have to talk to me. Football, during football season, both before, during, after, you have my number, you have me on social media. If you don't want to text, hit me on Instagram, whatever, call me. You want to meet up and hang out. If you want to get out of some type of situation or get away from something, number is always on for you. If you're really serious about talking and just kind of getting help and everything, come talk to me. I'm always here for any kid that I've ever coached, so that's really was my main thing. Just trying to help guide the youth of the next generation. So that's really what got me into coaching.
That's huge to have that impact and to let them know that they're more than just an athlete. You feel me? After the season is done, y'all can still reach out to me. I can still talk to me. We can still have communication. I'm sure like you said, you try to play in college. There's coaches that only care about, all right, what you gonna do for me on the field, what you gonna do for me on the court, and don't really care about the other aspect. And the good thing too, you're freshmen. So you're getting them straight from middle school, starting off young. And we know freshman year is just as important as that senior year. How you started off your high school career is very important. For you, you touched on it and whatnot. How does that feel though to be able to have such a huge impact on kids' futures, not just on the football field but off the field?
Um, it's to me. I just it's a to me. I feel like I'm making an impact on a lot of the kids. I can only hope so. And the thing is, like I do the freshman, but I also do the town pal, so I'm always around those kids too. And so, funnily enough, my first year coaching, so I coached the sixth grade team, sixth, seventh, around there. My kids that I had my first year are now seniors in high school. They're now all they're some of those kids are the seniors on the football team this year. So like those are the guys walk up to me like, "Yo, Coach Joe," or they refer to me as. So it's funny. Everybody mostly called me JoJo or Coach JoJo. Those guys, like my three main guys this year, they still call me Coach Anderson. They knew me as Coach Anderson from Pal. So like, just to have, and even though I see them, I would see them on the feet. I see them, walking around West Orange, downtown West Orange, up the hill, whatever, and they always come up, talk to me, Coach Joe, what's up, blah blah. On the field, they still come to me like, "Yo, Coach Joe, need help with this, that." The only people that call me Coach Anderson or Coach Joe or whatever, like they still know me back from like sixth grade. They refer to me in that light rather than the high school light. So like, I feel like I've had some type of impact on some of these kids, and just working with these kids, and not even if I don't have the kid, just still being around and being a face that they recognize at a young age. Like having these kids when they're in fourth grade be like, "Oh, I know this guy." Like show like they just see that I'm around now. And then I have them in sixth grade, then they go up to the high school, and if I'm still around by then, like then they're like, "Oh, I know this guy for like 8 years. Like this guy's really been around in my life." Like so, it's it's a really long series, and it really gets tiring. Like I'm exhausted all the time now, but like I'm always exhausted, bro. Like between practice and games, like I have no days off. But honestly, it's like I really wouldn't trade it for anything. I just like I said, I just hope I'm having. I see a lot. I see some impact, and I just hope I can continue to have impact in people's lives. Honestly.
So talk about the success though that you're having every week. I see the stats. I see you post West Orange won. West Orange beat this team 8-0. With that aspect, so I always find it interesting when we see coaches have the success at the lower ranks, right? And at that lower rank, sometimes you have more of an impact, more of the relationship building aspect that you have. You're more in tune with it. Do you have any aspirations of maybe going on to coaching varsity or coaching at a different, maybe a college? Do you have any aspirations of moving up in the ranks, or are you okay where you're at because you're having such an impact and you've built these relationships where, like you said, kids knowing you for 8 years now, basically? That's relationships that are tough to give up. So where's your mindset on that?
Um, it's tough because I do love working with the youth. I love working with the youth in this town and just in general. And I want to see those kids grow and flourish and everything. But it's hard because it's like I always think of it like, do I want to do this? Because I always want to build West Orange up. I want to see kids go to their fullest potential. But I'm always kind of having the back of my head like, if I'm trying my best. I'm one person, but I'm trying my best to build up the youth. But like, I don't want these kids to fall by the wayside if I ever were to leave. Like, I'm not saying that I'm having some major impact and sending these kids off to like Alabama and stuff, but like, I do have dreams of like I do eventually either want to go up and do varsity, like be like a head coach for a varsity team, or like be a college coach. I always want to be like a college defensive line coach. Like, if I just get there, I'd be fine. Like, because I at one point I was going on that path to be a college football coach, but some things happened. But just money wise, financially, but it just wasn't really in the plans for me at the time. So I fell into this, and I've grown to love it. And as of now, I'm still here, and I don't really have a foreseeable future where I'm leaving, and I'm just trying to make the biggest impact on these kids in this town as possible. Like I love coaching the freshman kids, and even though they give me like constant headaches and and I love running around with the kids. Like I have my sixth graders and I play around with them, and then I have the third and the third and fourth graders. They come around and they're always talking to me, and then I have like the second graders that always come up to me. The little flag football players come up to me, asking me questions, and a million and one questions, and wanting to play with me and throw a football with them. So like, it's awesome to play, like just to just be around people on all the levels, from like seniors in high school all the way to second graders that all recognize you in some type of way and know your name and just want to be around you. So it's just a humbling experience. Just try to I just try to do my best to try to help these kids. You know, that's very much it.
Yeah, that you're definitely valuable in that aspect. You feel me? Like to be able, you talking about third, fourth grade to all the way to seniors in high school, you're known, and you said that you're not making a huge impact, but the fact that you have third, fourth, all the way to seniors in high school, you're definitely that's somebody that you hear about as like one of the town heroes type thing, like that the town just knows and has been around. With that being in the mindset of people knowing you from that young and wanting to ask you questions and wanting to be around you, something that comes to mind is like, when Charles Barkley back in the day said, I'm an athlete, I'm not a role model. For you, being that you have eyes of all ages on you, how does that affect your mindset and how you go about your everyday life?
Um, it's it's tough. I'll give you that much. It's tough because, listen, we all did things when we were younger. We did a lot of stupid stuff when we were like in high school and even like your early 20s and stuff that I can't do now. Stuff that if I did now, then I would be the biggest hypocrite in the town. Stuff that I'm teaching my kids again from they see Coach JJ or Coach JoJo or Coach Anderson, whoever knows me from whatever. They see him walking around the town, or they see him, and they're like, "Oh, Coach so and so is cool. He's this, he's that. I want to be him. I want to coach you. I want to coach how you coach one day." Like, during the varsity games, I walk up with the varsity, and I see all my pal kids lined up on the sides of the on the sides of the rope. Everybody, like all the kids, all the little sixth graders and fifth graders, Coach JJ, Coach JJ, like chanting your name and everything. And I'm giving them high fives when I walk past and everything. It's like, and then for me to go out and do something stupid and jeopardize that would just be like, well, this guy I looked up to all this time is just like a fraud. So like, there's stuff that I did, years ago that like it's something that I can't do now. Things I would have said years ago, and even like when I posted on social media, I have to be like completely aware. Just because not only do I have the kids, but I have the parents that are watching. Like this guy's making a big impact on my child's life, and then
Hmm.
if I sit here and I turn around and I were to post something stupid or whatever, they'd be like, "Oh, this guy that I have around my child's talking like this and posting things like this. Like, it's not a good look." So I have to really, you know, remember who I am and the impact that I do have on people, and I have to just, just be aware of certain things like that and understand that I'm not, 20 years old anymore. I'm turning 30 in like a week, so I gotta, just be aware of things like that. It's a lot, but I again, just from what I'm doing, I completely understand how I have to keep up with the image that I have. So
No, I definitely commend you on that because I know that can't be something that's easy. You might want to say certain things, you might want to post certain things, and I'm pretty sure you go through it like, I can't post this.
yep,
I can't comment on this. And
yep,
we see it way too often though. We see coaches on all levels. We see teachers, athletes that people look up to, even though nobody should be idolized, but still, some kids need somebody to look up to, and it's tough when the one or two people they look up to falls. Now everybody falls, everybody makes mistakes, but I commend you on trying to keep that in the forefront. Like, yo, I got to make sure I keep this certain thing up because I have the impact. And like you said, the parents too. Parents don't want their kids around. Oh, this how Coach JoJo
right,
talk.
right.
Oh, what if he slip up and say something like, you feel me? So
Mhm.
that's huge right there. For those that don't know, so you're a freshman coach. How does that work in regards of the varsity and freshmen? Is it just a streamline of, hey, this is the playbook, this is what we're going to run? How does it work being a freshman coach? How do you work with the varsity coach?
So yeah, so again, so you said for those who don't know, I am the head freshman coach at West Orange High School. I'm also the assistant D line coach for the varsity. So basically how we really much run things is that like you said, the playbook, we take the playbook as varsity and JV and freshman and everything. We try to start off running those same plays on the freshman level, simplified down, so they can, because some of these kids are eighth graders that come up through the PAL. Some of these kids have never played football a day in their life before. Like half of our team of the kids, like half the team of this year have never played football a day in their life. Like a kid, our starting center this year has never played football a day in his life. He's been in the West Orange his whole life. He's played soccer his whole life and everything. And he just decided to play football this year, and he's probably the second best center in the entire program. Again, and he's hit like he soaks up knowledge like crazy. His snaps are consistent. He's a good blocker. Like he just he makes checks on the line and flips plays, and it's just like the kid's just knowledgeable. So it's just crazy to see. So like we try to implement everything on the freshman level to a simpler degree, and then when they move up, they learn the more complexities of it. So when they move up to JV as a sophomore to junior, and eventually varsity, you know, they move up and they learn everything they need to do. In the freshman, we try to go opposite of the varsity, so we have like tomorrow is usually offensive day for the varsity, so it's usually defensive day for us. So the D line coach for the varsity that I work with, and me and him talk pretty much every day. He's one of my good friends. Uh, he comes down and he runs through the entire defensive playbook with the freshmen. He lines them up, and we have about 28 freshmen. So he lines them up and they like mirroring each other, and he runs through the entire playbook with them, like 15 to 20 different calls. He goes over everything, make sure they know everything, make sure they're going in the right gaps, they're stepping with the right foot. They're getting in their drops, they're reading their runs, all that stuff. He goes through everything. Then when he leaves, um, our offensive coordinator, he comes and he runs through 15 to 20 plays. And then our other guy, our special teams coordinator, he runs through all special teams. Like these are things we do every single day. It's on a simpler level because it's freshmen, and again, it's a lot a lot of them to take in, but it sets a good foundation for when they move up to JV and varsity in the coming years. And a lot of these kids, honestly, are going to have to make that jump sooner than later. So they're going to have to really grow up and soak up a lot of knowledge in a very short time. Um, but yeah, we try to make it as seamless as possible, and we're even going down to like the PAL level now. Now we're trying to go down to the fourth and fifth and sixth grades and everything, try to get them running the defenses and get them learning the offenses and the play calls and everything. So by the time they're in freshman year, like this is automatic, and then they get the varsity. It's like I've been running the same play for 8 to 9 years. I know what I'm doing. So it hopefully like it's the system, it's the machine, the system is in place. So we just hopefully, it just starts working at this point. But yeah, it was hard to let me say at the be it's very hard on certain levels to teach kids what we run on the high school level. You know how, because football too, like a lot of kids understand, or a lot of kids younger than they don't really understand the whole difference between a man defense and a zone defense, or
Yeah.
stepping into a gap, or chopping your feet and reading the run and reading the pass and running your lane and like cover three and cover this and that. Like it's hard to kind of teach a fifth grader that but it's not gonna say I'm not gonna say it's been seamless. There's been some hiccups in it, but it's getting there. So hopefully in the next couple of years we can get the thing running. So it is interesting to see though.
That's a dope plan because that's how you kind of like build a program where now you're talking about for years to come, things are just running smooth. Like you've seen it football, basketball, the teams and the players that play with each other year round and have been running the same plays may not always be the most talented, but they've been running
Mhm.
this and got the chemistry and
They know what they're doing.
exactly. And it'll be the other team that may have more talent, but they don't got the chemistry. They haven't been
Yep.
they don't have the fundamentals down. They don't have the plays, and
Mhm.
especially more so even with football because it's such a violent sport to be able to
Mhm.
know this is how you tackle, this is your gaps, this is where you go, this is how you hey, this is when you see if it's a run, if it's a play action. If you got commend y'all for that too. If you got it started fifth, sixth grade, fourth grade, by the time they get to the high school, that part is easy now. The
Yep.
fun,
Yep.
what? I
Yep.
got that part. Let's figure
Yeah.
out how we gonna do this. So
Yep.
that would be huge. If you had to pick one, right? If you had to pick one as a coach,
Mhm.
what's most important if you had to pick one? The X's and O's or inspiring and motivating the players?
Oh, for me, it's always inspiring and motivating the players. Like this is my third year coaching on the high school level. So the first year we went 1-7 or 1-8 our first year. Our second year we went 4-4 last year. Now this year we're 8-0. Um, it's just my thing again. Like they're gonna have 3 other years after they come from me to learn the X's and O's. And honestly, it doesn't take 3 years to learn it. Like if you sit down, if you're an offensive guy, you sit down. And they have different apps for all this stuff now. Like we use one main app, or the whole playbook is on there. It breaks down the assignments of every position that you need. You can go down there and you study that playbook and you learn what you have to do. That's like football is 90% mental anyway. Like learning this stuff is more than half the battle. You learn where you need to be. Like we can teach you like the footwork. We can teach you hand placement and also, but you have to know what you're doing on the play. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to understand. I got to step here. I got to do this. I got to go. I got to work with this guy up to the backer. Turn on this angle. Shade this guy. Block this guy. Like, you have to learn these things. We can teach you everything else. But I can't force you to study a playbook. I can't force you to care which way you have to step, or which way you have to move first. So like the X's and O's comes with time. It can be worked on. My whole thing is the thing is for me, I want to again, I want to inspire these kids not to only love football, but just I want them to grow as men in life. Like I want them to just like, and a lot of these kids, you know how football is. You know how we grew up. Like not all these guys come from like great homes. They don't come from like a whole, a picturesque mother, father, white picket fence house. Everything's perfectly fine. All these kids, at least when we were going to school, come from broken homes and stuff like that. Like single mother, or oh, I live with my grandma, or whatever else it may be. And they might not have a father figure. They may not have somebody they can just talk to. They may not have this. They may not have that. So I always want these kids. They might not have the motivation to go to school, or anything. Might not have motivation in life in general. So I always want to. That's another reason I always say my door is always open. My phone's always on for you. Like you can hit me up at 10 o'clock at night, and I'll just if whatever I can do to help you, I'll do it. I'll stay up with you and talk to you till 2 in the morning if something's going on. Like if you call me at like 1 o'clock in the morning, like yo, I need to get out of my house because something's going on, blah blah. I'll meet you somewhere. I don't care. Like keep yourself safe. Like you know what I'm saying. But I always want to look out for these players and just inspire them to do whatever your dream is. Like and I always tell you, like if you're gonna go after it, go after it. Like don't just sit here. It's like yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. Like figure out something that you want to do and go after it, and don't be afraid to fail. Like if you fail, then it's okay. You tried. Like you. I had a dream. I pursued it. It may not have worked out now. Maybe it'll work out if I go. Maybe it'll work out later on, or maybe it's not what's meant to be. But at least I attempted and I tried it. But like to me, not to have any motivation at all is just not a good characteristic to have in life. Like it's something you need to like. My thing is like, what's the point in really living if you don't have anything to live for? So like I wanted to try to inspire these kids again, not just it's cool like oh yeah I want to play receiver at Alabama. Okay, well understand play receiver at Alabama. You can't go to Alabama with 4 Fs. Like You can't go. You can't go to Alabama if you're getting in fights and getting suspended every week. Like you can't do that. Like so you have to do better than this. You can't just like you can't sit here and think they're gonna come to a game and see you just score 3 touchdowns, offer you a scholarship your sophomore year in a JV game. Like it's not gonna happen. First thing they're gonna do is be like, "What's this kid's name? He's a sophomore. Okay, cool. Let me see his grades. Oh, he has 6 Fs out of 7 classes. Can't take him next. Like, you know, as a lot of these kids we talk to, we are on top of them all the time. Like, listen, you guys think your junior and senior year is when you get your scholarship. It's not the case. Like, you guys think, oh, I'm a freshman. I got 3 more years to build this up. It's not the case. It's not the case. These college coaches are looking at your freshman, sophomore, and a little bit of your junior year. Because by the time you're a junior, they know what type of person you are. They know the character of you. So when they see freshman and sophomore year, he decides to fail every class because he really thought he just had more time to build up stuff. They're not interested. They're not interested in you as a person or a football player because they don't want that in their program. They're gonna see that. So we try to motivate these kids. Hey, classrooms first. You're called a student athlete for a reason. Grades are first. Respect whoever you live with in your home. Don't cause trouble. Respect the program. Keep your grades up, and then we'll worry about football later. But we always like again, my friend always says, dominate the classroom, dominate every facet of life. Like dominate the classroom. We always motivate them. Try to keep your grades up. If you want to play this game, keep your grades up. If you don't keep your grades up, you cannot play this game. This game is a luxury. It's a luxury afforded to you by the town, the people that give you the people that pay for you to have this beautiful field, have this equipment, all these things. But if you're not going to do your job in the classroom, then you cannot be afforded this luxury. So we always try to just motivate these guys and just keep not only their grades up but keep their spirits up and stuff. And just try to keep them out of as much trouble as possible. But
I think I got the title for the episode right there. Dominate the classroom, dominate life. I think that's
I dig it.
the title of the episode right there. And something that you
Mhm.
said is so key right there because a lot of people, I'm sure you heard the saying that the richest place are where people are buried because there's a lot of dreams and a lot of goals that never came into the earth. Hey, you tried. It's a lot of people that have dreams and they didn't try. You feel
Yeah,
me? It says a lot about the people that actually try. Like it's somebody that probably a lot of times had the same idea, the same type of vision, and just let it stay in their head and didn't try it. So to actually go through with it puts you in a different category already. It's somebody that didn't even try it.
right. Like I always think about just like me and you, like you do bench mob, I do sports mark, and it's like we're not picked up by some million billion dollar station or company. Like we're not getting paid for this. Like we just do this because it's something that we're passionate about and that we love. So like if we do this for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, even if we still don't get picked up, like it's something that one day maybe it ends. Like like okay, it ended, but look, we did 10 years of this. Like we had fun. We had ups and downs. We put out a lot of dope content. We had good times. We had some struggles, but like we tried. Like not every place is going to be a Bleacher Report that gets picked up and turns into some billion-dollar corporation. Like it's what I'm saying. Chances are sports might not make it, but we're having fun while we're doing it. And whenever it ends, if it doesn't, then it ends. And if not, then cool. But that's one thing we can say is we were passionate about this and we tried. We tried our damnedest to, you know. So that's the
I
main
even
thing we
think
got to push other
I even
people.
think with that too is like when you're doing something that you're passionate about, the money, everything else will come. You feel me? Like I really, really do believe that. It may not be like you said on the Bleacher Report level, but you're gonna get something out of it. You'll
Right.
impact somebody. Like I know, I'm sure you hear from people all the time, like, yo, I like the podcast, I be watching, yo, y'all be keeping me up to date. For me, sometimes that's like a good somebody actually takes time out and is rocking to
Mm,
watch and
yeah.
listen. Hey,
Yeah.
To me, like
Real.
you have, like you said, there's Bleach Report, you got all this other places where you can get your content, and you choose and you take time out to listen. And like, to me, that's dope. You mentioned it, perfect transition. When and how did the sports mark analyst start? When did that start? What was the inspiration for it? And I remember, if I remember correctly, it's not just you. So how did this all come about?
Um. So yeah, no, it's not just me. We had maybe close to 10 people in at one point, but we're down to maybe half the number. But honestly, with us, it's really like quality over just like quantity. We can pull in people that, honestly, I like it better now because it leads to more. Like we branch out to other people. Like we've been, me and you, we've talked about doing collab work. We've talked with Brett and Charles talking about dope podcasts and everything. So I like it because it lends to branching out to other people and doing collaboration work, which I always love to do. Not just it's different. It's fun because you meet new people and you get a fresh perspective on a lot of things, and it's not just the same four faces just talking about the same stuff or agreeing with the same stuff. Like I know what he's like. If like we talk football all the time with like me and the three other guys, it's gonna be okay. I know what he's gonna say. I know what he's gonna say. I know what he's gonna
Yeah.
say. Because we've been doing this for 4 years. I know his opinion on certain things. But now I'm talking to you and I ask you something and you say something completely different. I'm like, all right, I didn't think of it that way. Because I don't have the insight to talk to you like, you and your crew do. You and your crew probably might be like, I know Antonio's gonna say this if I bring this up. But if I bring it up, you might give me some whole other opinion that nobody in my crew even thought of. So like I actually like doing this because you collab with different people and you get different opinions, different insight. But I mean, it just started because I don't know if you know, I don't know if you know Paul Tika, but it was me
Name
and my
sounds familiar.
it was me and my boy Paul, and it's funny because Paul actually coached me in a church league for basketball.
Over in
He
Bethany?
actually,
Of
yep, Bethany Church, yep,
course.
yep. He actually coached me over there. So I was just I feel like I was just it's hard because I can't even like really completely remember it, but I know I was at home and I was chilling and I was going back and forth with him and I was talking to my boy's guy, my boy Jaquan. I met him at college, so I've known him like almost 10 years now. And then my cousin, and I was talking to them, just just having different conversations, blah blah whatever. And my two boys at the time that they actually left a while. They actually left sports market a while back, and they had started their own kind of thing. But I was talking to a lot of people back and forth, and I talked to my boy Paul, and I was like, "What would you think about starting like a podcast or whatever to talk about like different sports and we could make a Facebook page and Instagram, blah blah whatever." And he was honestly like that'd be dope. Like I've been wanting to do something like that for a while, and I never had the time, and I couldn't find the right people for it. And honestly, I didn't think it would be this hard finding people to talk about sports, but it really is hard. Like it really is hard to find like people that are dedicated to talk about sports. Like it
Yeah.
really is. Like I didn't think it would be like that. I figured like everybody would be trying to be like, oh, like, yeah, like a 20-man team. Like nah, like we got like 5 6 people. I've I've gone out and asked multiple people like, yo, like you want to be part of this? And they'll say yeah, and then like I'll add them to like the WhatsApp group or whatever, and then like they'll be there for like 2 days and they'll just disappear and it's never like, nah, man, it's too much work for
Yeah.
me. Like I'm like, but you love sports though, like you can't just go on like Zoom and talk sports for an hour, like you know what I'm saying? Like I never
Yeah.
thought it would be that much work. Like I never thought that. Like that's like the craziest part to me. I'm like, yo, like I didn't. To me, this is fun. Like, like you know what I'm saying? Like to me, it's fun. So
So,
like that's how this for all of us. Like that's really how this for all of us. Like I love just posting sports news when I see it when I have the opportunity because through working football, like I just I thought it was just gonna be fun. Like posting news, having a whole bunch of podcasts, big open discussions, getting in heated debates and stuff like that. That's all I looked at it as. So I didn't think of anything like, oh, like this is mad work. Like you want me to post stuff and you want me to do this, you want me to do that. Like, all right, like, like we just talking sports, bro. Like you love sports anyway, so what's the big deal? But you know, it like we just like I said, we just all four of us really sat down and we're just like, let's just do it. Let's just go for it. Let's talk sports. So we started, the whole team. We started talking and just came up with the name and just took off from there. So it's
Yeah. It's weird, man, because people do it on the regular without even knowing it. Like, if you really think about it, depending on what barbershop you go to, some barbershops is booty. But depending on what barbershop you go to, you're having a podcast right there because y'all end up yelling, "What? What you say about Daniel Jones?" You're doing that anyway.
Yeah, for real. But
why not? Like,
and the thing, it's really tough having that. It's tough having that, trying to maintain that balance because you're friends, but like at the same time, it's like you want to be like you don't want to be on top of people, but it's like yo, I need you to post this. Somebody post this. Somebody do this. Can you do this? Can you post this? And people be like, bro, like I got stuff to do, and you're like, yeah, but this news just broke, and if we don't post it, then ESPN's gonna break it, and then everybody's gonna see it. Like, if we break this before they break it, then people are gonna be like, yo, did you see this? Like, this people got it before ESPN. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you don't want to be on your friend's back, but it's like this needs to get done. So like, I be trying to chill, but at the same time, kind of be like, yo, can you post this? People be like, nah, I can't. I'm like, all right, like, my bad. Like, I got it. I'm sorry. Like.
you preaching to the choir. Oh my Lord. Yeah. I'll be waiting for sometimes y'all to post it because I'll be like, yo, hey, they posted it first. I'll just reshare it and I'll create a poll off of it. To try to keep up with all the sports. And then, like you said, once ESPN, once Bleacher Report, they drop it, ain't nobody looking at our pages for it. They already shared the ESPN link of what we're already talking about.
Yes.
Like, to try to get people to understand, like, in the business that we're in, accuracy is important, but also if you could be accurate and getting it out first.
Yes.
Shams, Woj, I got their notifications on every time.
Yes.
Anytime they say anything, well,
yes.
Right.
Yo, I'm right there with you. I have like, and my phone stops at 24, but I have 24 tweets come to my phone at a time because I follow a whole bunch of Giants beat writers, NFL news, all this stuff. So Woj, Sharp, all the same thing. So as soon as I see something like, and I know that ESPN probably it'll be like breaking, like a blockbuster NBA trade breaking. I'll go straight to that junk, copy paste. I'll give them the credit. A Woj bomb, blah blah. I'll find a picture off Google, put it up, share it to like 20 places. Like, yo, look at this, like, look at this.
No, exactly, bro.
Then like 5 minutes later, ESPN breaks it. I'm like, all right, well,
yo,
we shared it 25 times first. Like
you do not understand.
Yes.
Twitter really be getting the news first and everything in life. Yes. Oh, they're going to war with this country. Twitter knows an hour and a half before ABC posted.
Yes.
People do not really understand.
No.
How clutch Twitter be coming in handy. During free agency, Schefter, and during the trade deadline. Oh my Lord.
I just
post.
Same. Like I just sit here. I just like free agency pops up, free agency frenzy starts. I just sit here in my room like this,
bro.
On my phone, like I don't move for hours because I'm just refresh. Another signing. Find the picture, post it. Refresh, another signing. I'm just at it like for like hours. Like it's for real. It just be like that because I'm trying to get everything out before Bleacher Report, before ESPN. I'm trying to get out before anybody else gets it out. and then at least I can, it'll be on Facebook. People be like, people share it out, and then ESPN drops it. And I'm like, all right, well, I already got like an extra 3, 4 shares off of this. Like people saw it, now it's out there, and then you see like 2, 3 people come trickling in and like your page, like, yo, these guys shared it before ESPN, or they broke it before Bleacher Report broke it. I'm like, cool, cool. Keep saying that. Keep saying that. Like I'm just
Exactly.
be on it. That's all we do.
Man, I'll be at work going to the bathroom breaks, be in there posting stuff. I'm glad you got a team. My boys, they don't they don't be posting as heavy, bro. I literally be going to the bathroom on some flushing. I be flushing the toilet, not even using the bathroom, just to make it sound like I'm using the bathroom.
Yeah.
All the time. Got the watch on, get the notification. Let me go make this post real quick.
Yo,
Yo,
it's just great having a team, because if I'm busy at work and I can't, I'll copy it, I'll paste it, I'll drop it in the WhatsApp group and be like, yo, breaking news, somebody posted, gotta go back to work, and they'll be up, and I'll be like, thank you. Like we have a
yo.
great team.
And the WhatsApp is great, bro, because there's a couple times in the end I'm like, I ain't thinking about that perspective. And I ain't even gonna hold you. A couple people, I swagger jack their ideas, came and was like, oh yeah, nah, look at it this way. Especially certain topics, I was like, that I don't be knowing. I was like, oh, okay. Take this note right here.
I didn't
Once,
know if you were still in there.
nah, I be in there. I had to turn the notifications off. Yeah, I'll be in there busy. I'll be at work getting Twitter notifications, WhatsApp. It be coming through.
Yo, I know.
Heavy.
I'll pull my thing down and it'll be like 375. I'll be like, nope.
Yes,
I'm pulling right back up. Like,
yes,
nope. I'll go in the next
yes.
morning. Like, what's up? I don't even be in there half the time. I just be reading stuff because they be going at it. I'd be like, between work, high school football, college football, I have no time. So like, I'm like, y'all got it.
Exactly.
Like,
It be 10 o'clock. I check it by 11. It's 400 messages on there. God, God, dang! What the heck?
yo,
Sheesh.
I
What?
know. I
What's
be
one thing? What's one thing people don't know about podcasting?
um. I think how I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it was like this for you, but it was almost kind of nerve wracking. Like when we first started, like you don't think it's gonna be because you're just like, oh, we talk about sports all the time. But then like when you're doing an episode of a show, it's kind of like I gotta be kind of like, pardon me, I want to be accurate. And then like on top of that, it's like it's not just like you go and we go for Facebook Live sometimes too. So like we'll go Facebook Live and then I'll share it and we'll share it. But like my thing is I'm in like a whole bunch of sports groups on Facebook. So I'll take the podcast and I'll share the podcast like 30 times throughout like 30 different groups. So we're talking NFL, I'm sharing like every Giants group, every NFL group I'm in. So like just off the rip, I've shared it like 35 times. And then I share it to my own wall. I'll share it to people's like I'll go in people's inbox that my friends will share it there, tell them to share it. Like I'm always trying to get the shares up. But when you think about it, I'm like, we're Facebook Live and I've shared it to like 50 people. So or 50 groups and everything. So I'm like, people could potentially just jump in and you could see the number when you're live. So it's like, dang, there's 25 people watching us right now that I probably don't know that are listening to us. Like it's almost kind of nerve wracking because it's like everything like you want to make it so like I know we're not professional, we don't have mics hanging and lighting and blah blah, but like you want to make it semi like professional and it's also like learning like each other's learning when somebody else is talking that kind of like you kind of for you to kind of back off and not keep talking over each other, learning timing, not trying to have dead period or dead space, like stuff like that. So it's like when you're talking, it and then like somebody else says something and then like they just kind of like end it. and you're just like, so like, you know what I'm saying? Like that dead space, people are just like, these guys are boring. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to have people that are like have engaging conversation. You want to understand when somebody's done talking, and you just jump in and you just keep going. Like it's a lot of it took a lot of time to get to the point where we can actually where we roll off each other smoothly and transition to new topics and everything like that. So it definitely isn't as easy as it seems. Like, you know, you want to know what you're talking about. You want to have your timing down. You want to have your transitions down. You want to know, or you want to again take away that dead space and not just have like blank airspace where it's just kind of awkward and quiet. Like you stuff like that that just comes with learning the person and just building a chemistry with them. So that's probably for me was like that's like probably like the hardest thing. Uh,
Nah, I'd have to agree, Pete. It's sports talk, but at the same time, it's an art to podcasting and keeping people engaged and everything you just mentioned. So I think that's something that people have to, keep in mind if they decide they want to hop into podcasting. It's not just just talking about the sports is one aspect of it. You got a whole lot of other things to factor in when it comes to the podcast and the podcast actually gaining success or shares and whatnot. Because
exactly.
it's a certain, like you said, level of professionalism, and it's a whole lot of other things that factor into making the podcast good.
Hmm.
We're transitioning into what I like to call with the quickness segment. So
Okay.
basically, rapid fire questions, whatever the first answer comes to your mind, boom, that's the answer. All right.
Got you.
So we're gonna start off with an easy one. What's your go-to meal?
Wings.
Wings? What flavor?
Wings. Buffalo or barbecue.
And we going drums or flats?
Drums.
Drums. All right. Daniel Jones is the quarterback of the future for the Giants. Facts or cap?
Oh God. Facts. can, can I expand on that?
You could expand on it. I like how he's been playing. It's been a
Yeah,
tough year, but he hasn't been playing bad. I just think he might get lost in a shuffle if this don't get turned
exactly.
around.
Exactly. I think this has been probably one of his better. This is obviously better than last year, but uh, outside of the Rams game, I you can't blame the season on him. The defense is playing horrible. Every person that he has to throw the ball to is hurt. Offensive line is still terrible. Like, and he's made the best of a terrible situation. Outside of that Rams game, he threw 3 picks. But other than that, the kid's been playing great. I can't hate him. Now, like, we get the offensive line fixed, the defense starts rolling next year and everything, and he still sucks or he sucks again, like, time to move on. But this year, like, I can't blame anything on him outside of the one Rams game we got, killed. But other than that, like, as of now, I would say he's in the future plans to be a Giant still.
Hey, I'm not a Giants fan, but I have no problem with Daniel Jones this year. It's my boy Greg on the show, Giants fan, Daniel Jones lover. We always clown him because he was saying going into the season, Daniel Jones is throwing 26 touchdowns at least. He's going to have a breakout year. And I'd have to say, he's playing good.
Yeah,
It's,
he
it's,
is. He
it's
is.
not
I
his
can't.
fault.
It's not his fault this year. I can't be mad at him. Like, I really can't be mad at him. So
The MVP of the NFL so far is
Brady.
Brady.
I was gonna say Brady, Josh Allen, or Dak Prescott, but I can't say Dak Prescott because he's a Cowboy, so I'm not gonna give him any type of recognition. So I'm gonna say
True,
Brady. I'm gonna be
true,
petty and say Brady.
true to your Giants blood.
Of course.
The Super Bowl winner this year will be
Ooh, I don't see the Bucks repeating. I don't. Um, they'll make it. I mean, I'm trying to think of the best team in the AFC. I'll say Bucks for now. I'll say the Bucks repeat for now.
Bucks repeat.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember who's who's the best in the AFC. And I'm not going to put the Cowboys up there. The Cardinals are undefeated, but I feel the Cardinals are going to come back to earth soon. Um, Not too many more. I mean, before yesterday, I would have said the Ravens looked pretty good, and they got killed by the Bengals, so I can't even say the Ravens. That was like an eye opener. I was like, "What the hell's going on?" Like, phew. And then I mean, other than that, the Chiefs look terrible this year. The Broncos are average. I really love the Chargers this year. Honestly, I think the Chargers could make some noise in the playoffs. I think the Chargers will make noise and probably. I think they may go to the AFC Championship. They might. That'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing the Chargers in the Super Bowl. I like Herbert. So yeah. So for now, I will say the Bucks will repeat, but I'm pretty sure they will. I don't think they will.
So a lot of people have Spencer Rattler as their Heisman pick. As we know, he's been benched. Who is the best quarterback in your eyes coming out of college this year?
See, that's a good question. Good question, but it's tough because um, it kind of goes hand in hand with the whole is Daniel Jones like the future of the Giants and everything. It's tough because I was just talking to somebody about this like 2 3 years ago, but the quarterback class this year, in my opinion, is weak because again, like you said, Spencer Rattler was supposed to be a Heisman hopeful. But, he was, you know, for what a lot of people said was the consensus number one draft or quarterback coming out this year, and they had it between him, Sam Howell, Malik Willis, and Carson Strong. Those four quarterbacks coming out this year. And Rattler's been benched for Caleb Williams, who continues. He's a true freshman quarterback who continues to win games. He has the respect of the fans, the respect of the team. So Rattler, and honestly, Rattler just removed his Oklahoma quarterback credentials from social media over the weekend, or a couple of days ago, actually. He went on like Twitter and Instagram, and he took down. It said quarterback at Oklahoma. He took down the at Oklahoma part and it said quarterback. So he took it down for yeah. So he took it down for a couple hours, and then he put it back up. So everybody already screenshot it, and everybody got the message like, okay, you don't want to be here anymore. I get it. So he's more likely going to transfer next year. Where he goes, I don't know. Um, Other than that, I mean, I'm a Penn State fan. I wouldn't mind taking on Penn State because our quarterback situation isn't the greatest either. Um, Other than that, like I don't see. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't see a quarterback coming out first round, but again, you have him who got benched. Sam Howell on North Carolina hasn't been that great this year, and he was number two in most people's eyes. Then you have Malik Willis, and like when I look at Malik Willis, my main thing is like you can be athletic, you can be X Y Z, blah blah. Like, but my main thing with him is like, who have you played? Like that's gonna be his biggest, that's gonna be his biggest thing. Who have you played? So like when I pulled up like the stats and everything of who he's played this past season, and it's like I understand you could only play your competition, but it's like again, like do you take this quarterback based on his level of competition? Like so I actually screenshotted it too. I could pull it up. But so this year he's played against Campbell, Troy, Old Dominion, Syracuse, UAB, Middle Tennessee State, UL Monroe, and North Texas. Like, it's like that's the competition he's playing. Like, and the quarterbacks have come out of lower divisions. I get it. Like, Carson Wentz came out and Trey Lance came out from North Dakota. I get it that not every quarterback's going to come out of Alabama and Ohio State and everything. And I mean, honestly, those teams don't really produce too many quarterbacks anyway,
Mhm.
because there's so much talent around those teams. They don't need a 5-star QB to step in and throw for 4,000 yards. You can get a 3-star quarterback that can just manage the game and not win. Not just as long as they don't lose, and you hand
Yeah.
that ball off on time, and that defense dominates. Any person can play quarterback in those college. But that's my main thing with Malik Willis. To me, it's just his competition level. You know, who are you playing? Because you're gonna look at him and be like, he had a great game against Campbell. He had a great game. He had a great game against Old Dominion. And then when he actually played teams that like Syracuse, they lost to Syracuse. Like,
Mhm.
so when you play somebody like, oh, I know who Syracuse is. Oh, well, we lost to. Oh, okay. Like UL Monroe, we lost to UL Monroe. But you could beat up on all these others. Like you could put 45 on Old Dominion. Like I didn't even know Old Dominion had a football team. So it's
Yeah.
like the level of competition is really going to be like his main drawback, in my opinion. Me personally, from watching my top 3 quarterbacks as of now, and it really changes every week. I I'm like a I'm like a fake Mel Kiper, but like my quarterbacks right now are Kenny Pickett. I love Kenny Pickett's game. Quarterback from Pittsburgh. Um, who's the other one? Carson Strong from Nevada, and then I love Matt Corral from Ole Miss. I love those 3. Those are probably my 3 main guys right now. I would have to pick. Um, they got Malik going. When I saw they had Malik going, I think top 15, top 20, and then they're talking about Corral in the 15 to 30 range. Um, the main thing I keep seeing is Corral's going to Pittsburgh. I keep seeing that. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what the connection is. I mean, obviously Ben needs to go after this year. Um, some Pittsburgh people like Dwayne Haskins. I don't know if he's going to be the guy, but I wouldn't, hedge my bet on just him. So if a Matt Corral does fall to them, I might. Why not take him? And then you have Dwayne Haskins, you have Corral, and they battle it out. See what it is. But those, as of now, are my top 3. I don't know if you Pittsburgh, but Kenny Pickett's a really good quarterback. I think next year, if they're both eligible, I think DJ Ungulele from Clemson, and I think Bryce Young from Bama. Those 2 will be good quarterbacks. That would be like probably a 1-2 kind of thing, or both will go in the top 5 at least if they're both eligible. But this year's quarterback class to me doesn't really impress me. I wouldn't touch really any quarterback this year. So like I said again, like I would have, even if I said that Daniel Jones wasn't the future of the Giants, I'd still have to rock with him at least for this year, because I
Yeah.
don't see anybody coming out that's better than him or even remotely close to them. So unless there was like a Trevor Lawrence coming out, then okay, yeah. But there's not, or Justin
Yeah.
Herbert, but there's not. So I'd have to. I'd still would rock with Daniel Jones in that case. But yeah, those are probably my top 3: Pickett, Corral, and Carson Strong as of now. Probably subject to change.
Yeah, we were saying the same thing. Based off of who's coming out, you rock with Daniel Jones another year.
Yeah.
Just rock with Daniel Jones another year. Hope that everybody is healthy. Hope that the O line is good, and rock out with him another year, because ain't no point in putting one of these quarterbacks, especially in New York. Ain't no
Oh.
ain't no point. Two
Nope.
more before we get you out of here. Who's in your musical rotation? I saw a couple days back, maybe a week ago, you was talking about lo-fi hip hop, which you don't know about that. If you don't know about that, that's some good music. But who's in your musical rotation?
Dang. I'm not. So I'm weird, man. I'm a real old school neo soul kind of person. I don't listen to honestly. I don't listen to rap music unless I'm working out. Like that's the only time I listen to rap. I don't listen to rap anymore. Um, so like if you see me walking around, I might have like a mean mug on, but like I'm not listening to nothing crazy. Like I really don't. I don't be listening to nothing crazy. Like I said, the only thing I'll do, like I'll put my headphones on, and like if I'm benching or something like that, then I'm listening like to rap. Or if I'm walking, and walking a couple miles and like that, I'll have that on. But like right now, I don't listen to anything. If I said the names, you'd probably be like, "Man, how old are you?" Like I listen to like Sam Cooke and stuff like that. Man, that's what I listen to. Like I, I'm trying to think of who else. Like I listen to a lot of oldies, like Temptations and stuff like that. Stuff that we
Mhm.
grew up on. That stuff that like our parents put us on when we were younger. Like stuff that people nowadays just be like, "Who the hell is this?" Like, you know what I'm saying? But, like
They don't know
that's
good
why.
music though. They don't know good
Nah,
music. If you
nah.
listen to it, give it a chance. Sam Cooke, The Temptations, everybody you
Yeah.
mentioned, you go further back. And a lot of the stuff now, I be listening to it, and like you said, the stuff that our parents put us on. I'm like, yo, ain't they sampling?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
how you knocking the music? The people today like
Exactly.
music enough to sample it.
Yep. Yep. Like it's like if you, I'll sit up here and like if you took my headphones off my head, I'm either listening to like Sam Cooke or Marvin Gaye or like Four Tops and Diana Ross, Supremes, and or I'll be listening to like '80s rock or something like that. I'll be listening to like AC/DC and like Billy Joel and all this other stuff. Like, I listen to all the oldies and classic stuff like that. I don't listen to every little so and so and baby so and so. There's too many people, man. Like there's way too many of them. Like every day it's like little Dirk and little baby Dirk and little Cinnamon. I'm like who is this? Like you know what I'm saying? Like the only people that like if I do like me listening to rap, if I'm listening to rap, there's gonna be if I listen to rap, I'm gonna listen to like Eminem. It's gonna be Eminem, Nas, Kendrick. I listen to Kid Cudi, listen to Game, stuff like that. I have a couple newer people I listen to. Like I like a one song from like what's his name, NBA YoungBoy. I like one song from that guy. Like maybe one or two songs from him. I listen to like Pop Smoke. That's what I like. Like that's probably like the main new school person that I actually like listen to. Probably Pop Smoke. Like everybody, not too many people. I listen to maybe a couple Migos here and there. Uh, Nothing crazy. Probably them, and I'd probably say mostly Pop Smoke and stuff like that. But like I said, more than likely, I'm listening. If you took my headphones off my head and like, what are you listening to? I'd be like, you know, I'm listening to
Teddy
like jazz.
Pendergrass.
Yeah, I'm listening to jazz music. Like, like
Yeah.
there's not there's not even any words. I'm just listening to jazz music. Like, you know, I used to play, so
Oh, okay.
that's
I ain't know that. That makes sense.
yeah. I used to play music. I played saxophone. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Jazz. I can see the jazz, the lo-fi hip hop. I can,
yeah.
yeah.
That's why I listen. That's why the lo-fi hits because I hear all the beats and all the little little things that people that listen to it like if somebody just put on lo-fi and was just like what is this, like they wouldn't get it. But like when I listened to lo-fi, I was like I dig this. Like I now it's like I listen to like every day now. Like I have like lo-fi music I just put like on my playlist. And I just listen to like every day now because I can like you hear like all the little subtle like drum hits and
Yeah.
this note and this instrument and this here and this in I can count a song and like in measures. I can count it in a 4/4 beat. I can count it in a 2/4. I can hear it in my head. So I played from fourth grade to senior year in high school. So I played saxophone.
Mm.
So I hear it. So like that's why I don't have to even listen to like I don't have to listen to other. I can listen to jazz all day because I could hear I'll listen to a song. I'm like so like particular and just so like critical. Like I'll go back. It'll be from like the minute 45 mark to like the 2:12 mark, and I'll just keep rewinding it because I hear like different parts of it in my head that like you don't pick up. I pick up different little notes here and there, and like it just is a lot. It's a lot. So like that's why I'm always listening. I'm always listening to music though. Like, but like I said, I'll always be listening to like jazz or just something like that. Like I don't. That's I don't really have. I can't really tell you like like a top five or who's in my playlist. It's just it'd be weird.
Hey, I never played an instrument outside of the recorder, which everybody had to play that at some point. But I do have an appreciation for it. Like for me, growing up, church, I used to love staying after service, and the band would just get it on, and I'd be listening, just sitting there like, ooh. Even now, I'll turn on music. My wife be getting annoyed. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, rewind that. Yo, did you hear
Yep.
that?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
like, oh,
Yep.
this sounds crazy. And she
Yep.
looking at me like, the heck wrong with you? I'm like, yo, I wish I learned to play an instrument because the art of it and just how genius, especially when you hear how they put the stuff together and the different sounds and the different instruments, especially talking about jazz and smooth jazz and lo-fi hip hop and the sampling and everything. I'm like, I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
like listening to that sometimes more, and it's more relaxing and chill and cool. Like I guess, like you said, it depends on your mood, what you're trying to do, but
Yeah. It's crazy. My boy put me on to he actually sent me a video of my boy he played you remember what's it called? Remember fixed class science? Remember
yeah,
science? Remember my boy that's like one of Markindi that came in after from Orange?
yeah.
He came in later. Yeah, he played in the marching band in Orange, and they did like a lot of like the battle music and everything. So like you know how West Orange is more like traditional and stuff like that type of music. They did like all the battle of the band and stuff like that. A lot of swing music. So he still puts me on stuff like that. And he put me onto one video, and the song is called Black and Blues by Al Jarreau. He's like
Uh-huh.
another artist and everything. But if you like how you said like you go to church, you be just hearing like the band getting in and everything like so Al Jarreau has his version of it, and then there's a band version of it, and there's like it's like these four. I think they're actually like a quartet, it's like a trombone quartet, and they play that Black and Blues song, and like man, when he sent me that link, I must have listened to that video like 50 times that day. And I didn't know the song at the time, so I'm sitting and listening to it, and then I searched it on YouTube, and then I found it, and I searched through the comments, and I found that it's black. It's called Black and Blue. But I searched the song. Like I was going crazy that day. And I found everything, and I was like, okay. I added to like my Spotify playlist and everything. Like it, if you listen to that, like if you like hearing like all the little I'm telling you, it's something that you listen to, you're like, oh, this is crazy. Like, and it was like it's just four trombones. It's not nobody else plays. It's just four trombones in the original video that I saw, and they tear it up. Like they tear it up. Like
I be doing that sometimes in the car, man. I got one more before we head out, but we got Sirius radio, so I'll be turning on channel 66, smooth jazz, and who this? Oh, okay. Let me go to Apple Music. Let me add this on.
yep,
Okay, put this onto the playlist. Oh, this good. Like
yep,
all the time, and like I said, it was church. This dude we called him iPod, one of the dopest people I've ever met in my life. He could listen to the song just like you was mentioning. You could hear the stuff in the song and be able to be all right. I'm playing it out in my head. We could play any song for this guy. That's why they called him iPod. Play it for 30 seconds. Play out the whole song. That junk used to freak us out. He'll listen to 30 seconds of it. Sit there. All right. Play the whole thing out. What the?
that's
Like
dope though.
that type of musical genius to me, I appreciate it because it's art. Just like you could look at sports, is art. To see how Tom Brady is still carving up defense, like it's a art to it. Like it's a beautiful mind how it works. You're a coach. Top 5 coaches that you'd love to have a meal with.
Wow. Okay. I never thought of this one. I would say Joe Paterno, Penn State fan.
Of course.
I would say I want to say Tom Coughlin, ex-Giant. I would say Nick Saban, learn to win, and you know, um, you know who I really admire. I really like. I like Mike Tomlin. I really like Mike Tomlin. I think I would definitely like to talk to Mike Tomlin. And a fifth coach. Hmm. I might say James Franklin because he's the current head coach at Penn State. Maybe I can get a job.
Quick question before we get you out of here, man. I just thought about it. What's your thoughts on what Deion Sanders is trying to do over at Jackson State and with HBCU football?
Oh, I love it. I love it because it to me it's kind of reminiscent of, or kind of is the same as like a lot of these high school athletes going to the HBCUs and not like they're realizing that not everybody has to go to UNC and Duke and Kentucky anymore. Like I can go to a HBCU and I'll get noticed. Like you know I can go play here, drop my whatever blah blah game. Everybody knows I'm a 5-star athlete. They know I'm one of the top recruits out. They know I can ball. Like I can go here for a year, I can get a good education, make connections and all that stuff. I can go here, ball out, and a lot of people are seeing it and they're following suit. So all that's doing is raising the competition. Like they're not all going to the same team. So one can go to Howard, one can go to Grambling, one can go to Southern, one can go to here, one can go to there. Like, and people start saying like, hey, like, in football and basketball wise, like, hey, this is pretty solid competition over here. Like, let's go here. And I mean, let's be honest, like a lot of these athletes, at least in basketball, like a lot of these people are more people of color. Like, hey, like let's build up the HBCU schools. Let's bring more attention to them. Same thing with football aspect. Like, hey, like let's get this on TV so people can see that we have a lot of athletes down here that can go next level in college football and college basketball. A lot of people that go next level. They're just not. It's just not. It's not seen. There's no eyes on it. So people don't know. Like, oh, this guy from this running back from Howard could potentially be the best running back in the draft. Nobody knows. One, because it's not seen, and there's just not. There's no eyes on it. So you'll have your scouts that might go. Regional scouts might go to a game and say, hey, these guys, with like a flyer or something like that. Maybe we'll bring them a training camp invite. But I think overall it's dope what Deion is doing, what he's trying to do, bring more attention and awareness to these kids because they honestly deserve it. And honestly, there's a lot of talent that's falling by the wayside. People not watching. Like, I always say, like, I know there's probably 1,000 more people that, I don't mention, but my main thing is look at Darius Leonard. Like Darius Leonard came from HBCU, and Darius Leonard is probably one of, if not the best linebacker in all of football. Like, so that's one guy. Yep, they went down. They found this kid. I can't remember off the top of my head what school he went to, but I believe it's HBCU.
No, he definitely went to HBCU, and that's like you said. There's plenty of other people, but I know that's as of late. That's the person that they're putting on, as like the poster child for. Hey, you found Darius Leonard.
He went to South Carolina State University. He went to the HBCU, and the kid's one of the best linebackers, if not the best in football. So I mean, it's like you got that. You can go back down there and find more people, and then more kids are more athletic more athletes are going to start going to these schools and building up not only the schools, building up the awareness and getting them on TV. And people are going to start taking note and just saying, hey, a lot of talent down here we need to come look at, and that's going to get more kids noticed, and more kids are going to get more opportunities off of it. So, and they deserve it. So, I think I love what he's doing. Shoot, I love to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think that's a major thing, especially too. It'll be an option because with the name, image, and likeness now, you can really go anywhere. You can really go anywhere now, and it's more so about where do you feel that you're a fit. For some that actually care about the classroom, where are you going to get your best education, has the best
Mhm.
program for what you want to study in. So I think that's huge. I commend him and any of the other coaches in HBCUs trying to bring awareness to it. But y'all know the vibes. Bench mob, ENT. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. We appreciate Joe hopping on, taking time out of his night, hopping on with the bench mob. We appreciate him big time. Make sure y'all share this. Make sure you tell your friends, your uncle, your baby moms. It's a lot of gems. It's a lot of gems in this one right here, especially to the young kids too. So you watch this, you got a nephew, you got a niece, you got anybody that's growing up, and it doesn't have to be sports. Just growing up. There's a lot of gems in here. Dominate the classroom, dominate life. We out. Peace.